Hey YouTube, you have made your way to Mind Your Mind with Just Justified. So you saw the thumbnail, let's get right into it. She was a 10-year-old girl whose body was thin and scorched and found in a trash bin after repeated complaints of AB and neglect. Her name is Emani Moss. And this was done at the hands of her stepmother, Tiffany Moss. So real quick, I'm going to share with you a video of her reaction at of her sentencing, and then we'll get back to the details of this situation.
Reacts to her death penalty after she starved her 10-year-old stepdaughter to death. She speaks at the end. The judge smiles at the verdict before reading it aloud.
This is the jury's verdict in case 18B. Verdict as to penalty, count 1, murder. We, the jury, recommend and fix the penalty as death.
So this is her after a death penalty.
Any exceptions to the form of the verdict by the defense?
No, Your Honor. All right, so that was her after she received that sentence. So here are the details. So, as I said, this is Emani Moss. She was a 10-year-old American girl who came to her demise by starvation, as you heard in that video, by her stepmother, Tiffany Moss, from Lawrenceville, Georgia, in 2013. This unfortunate passing led to child welfare reform in Georgia. Because, as I said in my intro, there were many repeated complaints of AB and neglect. So what happened for this to be the outcome, the demise of this 10-year-old girl? Tiffany Moss was convicted of unaliving Emani Moss in 2019, which led to a sentencing to death. This case received national and international attention due to her physically ABing for several years before her death. Tiffany Moss began starving Emani in 2013. Her father, Iman, was rarely home and failed to stop the AB. And Emani passed on October 28, 2013, weighing only 32 pounds. Now, I have a friend whose son is 6, and she said that he is 47 pounds at 6 years old. So imagine Emani Moss passing at 32 pounds at 10 years old. That's about the size of an average toddler. So Imani's father, Iman, pled guilty in 2015 for his role. Because I asked the question, how do you honestly not notice a 32-pound 10-year-old? So there was definitely on his side some neglect or something like that. I don't know how much his interaction was and everything else, but at least the least of his I don't know what his the details of his stuff is, but definitely at least neglect, because you have a 32-pound 10-year-old in front of you that nothing was done about. But then there were other details too where it wasn't something that he could ignore. We will find out in a few. So Tiffany Moss case went to trial, and she represented herself, and she was convicted on all counts in on April in April 2019. She received her sentencing on May 1st, 2019. She is now awaiting the death penalty at the Arundel State Prison and is currently the only female inmate on death row. Emani Moss's grandmother filed a lawsuit against Georgia welfare officials for not acting on the repeated neglect and AB complaints. In 2010, Cooper Elementary School staff contacted law officials who found welts, scrapes, and bruises on arms, chest, back, leg from a broken belt. Emani was removed temporarily, and Tiffany pled guilty for cruelty when she was removed. She received 5 years on probation. Her and Imani's father, Iman, had to take parenting classes. So that's what she got when she was found with this incident from the school. 5 years probation and parent classes. That was 2010. Oh, she was returned too back to the home, by the way. And then that was 2010. But in May 2012, more issues arose. Emotional and psychological neglect was reported to DFCS. In the report, it was said that she was struck by a belt on her back and head. An investigation was opened. The caseworker spoke to both parents, but DFCS found no maltreatment alleged. That was their conclusion. No maltreatment alleged. After all that was reported. So on August 6, 2013, an anonymous call was made to DFCS. There was no follow-up, and they made no visit to the home. So this is unfortunate because this all led up to the day of her passing. And for there to be an anonymous call to DFCS and no one came to the home, there is a problem. And of course, I understand why the grandmother decided to do this lawsuit against Georgia's welfare system. And unfortunately, there's so many cases like this where I don't know if it's caseload or, just people not doing their jobs, but children are going under the radar. They're being left to the hands of these monsters. This right here, let me show you a picture of her parents. As you saw in the video, that's Tiffany Moss and the father, Iman Moss. So from what I gathered, he received life in prison and she received the death penalty. It's just unfortunate. And this is just one of those sad cases to go down in the books. that this child had to lose her life to these monsters. And there were other things that I heard, that she also had two other children, and they were not treated this way. But Tiffany Moss treated her stepchild this way. It's unfortunate. Um, it's sad that she lost her life in this way, and I hope that there will be some type of reform to the welfare system in Georgia. So that's all I got, guys. It's a little bit heavy, and but these stories need to be heard, because as much as the focus may be that she's the first woman in on the death penalty in Georgia, this child's life was lost, and we need to lessen those numbers. All right. So I'm not going to do a mindful moment today. I'm just going to leave it like this. Let's think about that. If you have anything that you would like to share on this case, please share it in the comments below. It's a little bit more somber, so I want to hear from you. Please like, please share, please comment, please subscribe. All right. Till the next one.